Talking Head comes in and says, not you, Janae, but generally, can we stop with the Purdy mythology already, Niner fans? But this, he's Neo of the Matrix talk is getting to be a bit too much. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this one, because I definitely think that there's conversations that are wild. And I think some of those conversations and getting caught up in some of those conversations, for me anyways, has put me in a category where he's a hater. You know, he's not agreeing with this narrative that it's like, other than Mahomes, I'm taking Brock Purdy in this offense. And it's like, well, hold on a second. Like, we don't have to go that far with it, but we can say that he's really good and there's a lot of things he does well. And so the moment that you just like don't go that far with the narrative, everything else you say after that is like, la, 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 la. I'm not even listening. I don't care if you credit him. You don't agree. You're a hater. So I understand what you're saying, Talking Head. I've been there. All I can do is just continue to be consistent, continue to say what he does well, what he's not doing well, be real with my assessment in the moment. And it really is going to be a week-to-week assessment with Brock because it's so early in his career. It's not like Patrick Mahomes, who's established, or let's look at some other good quarterbacks that we know are great in this league. Josh Allen. Josh Allen's another one. Joe Burrow. When they struggle for a couple weeks, people do this, and it's crazy to me. But when they struggle for a couple weeks, nobody should be like, oh, man, like, have they fallen off? No, we know that they're really good. They're just having a couple off weeks. Not a big deal. But Brock Purdy's so young in his career, and it's not just Brock. There's so many players that I could give this tag to and say, hey, they're kind of on this week-to-week thing. We kind of know what they are. We know where they're trending, and it's great, but we don't know for sure. So let's just give it time. Let's just be patient. That's where I'm at with it.
Yeah, I mean, I see it in a different. I do understand like the back and forth in a sense, coming from the standpoint of there are some conversations about Brock that need to just stop. Right, the Brock not being a starter. That needs to stop.
We're past that. We're past that at this point, right? Like
the Brock not being, like we should be way past that.
Yeah,
the Brock not being in the middle of the pack of quarterbacks in the league. That's his floor. You have to give that. You have to. You're not an honest broker, in my opinion, if you automatically start Brock in the bottom tier of quarterbacks solely because he's young, a rookie, and hasn't played enough games that you like. Come on, man. Football ain't rocket science. We've seen enough to know that he's at least middle of the pack, right, and ascending, at least, because of what he's showing this early in his career. So, yes there are some narratives out there that are dog whistle arguments that want to lean towards they don't like the kid, they don't think he's athletic enough. Shoot, there may even be some more Trey guys out there that are just like not over the Trey situation and don't necessarily want to look at what football is giving you on the field. So yes, there are people who are going to artfully try to bring up their own narratives, but when they just don't make sense on their face, it's easy for you to kind of see where people's narratives are coming from, right?
Yeah, and I think that goes both ways, though. You know what I mean? I think, and this is, it's funny because I put this little chart out in the offseason. It was like May or June or something like that. And the chart went something like this. Brock Purdy has killed it so far. He's playing really good. I'm excited to see what his future is. If that's the conversation, the answer to that conversation is, I agree. Let's see what he continues to do. I'm rooting for him. That's it. End of conversation. But then there's a whole nother part of the conversation that's like, okay, there's that. And then it's like, yeah, I agree. Yeah, but now he's top 5 in the league. Now he's the next Joe Montana. Now, I mean, Tom Brady and Drew Brees did it. Why? Okay, let's calm down. We don't have to go way over the top in our praise to praise him. We can praise him without bending the knee to him being a top 5 quarterback of all time after 10 games. Can we do that? Is that okay?
Okay, that's okay, but we could be a slave to optics too. We're on a really good team, right? He's operating at a really high clip on a good team that
For sure.
has a lot of eyes on it. So
Yes.
yes, you're going to get some people that are going to take it to the moon, right? And they're going to be very tribal about it. And you're not even going to be able to have a real sobering conversation about what you think about Brock Purdy versus what you're seeing now, right? There's going to be people that are going to be hard to talk to who have that narrative. But I just wanted to bring up the fact that there are dishonest brokers who bring up narratives about Brock that aren't necessarily true either. You know what I'm saying? Like, I felt the same way about Trey. I feel the same way. Sometimes we do it in jest to Sam. But Sam's been here for 5 years, so he deserves it. But outside of that,
listen, but okay. So I guess my point is that it's not just unique to Brock Purdy. Obviously, this is a 49er channel. Yeah. We're talking Brock Purdy. But let's remove Brock Purdy from the conversation. Okay. I'll give you another quarterback that you and I have had the conversation about, who played at really an MVP level last year, even went to a Super Bowl and arguably outplayed on the biggest stage Patrick Mahomes, or went blow for blow with him, Jalen Hurts. And even going into this year, both you and I have said the same thing. Hey, it was fantastic. I'm not saying he's going to turn into a pumpkin, but I do got to see it for another year before I'm fully in on this Jalen Hurts thing, right?
Jalen Hurts ain't, he's not like I don't think that Jalen Hurts is far from a finish. He's far from a finished product.
I agree.
To be honest with you, if you're just charting his progress, it has been up and down. It's not been this continuous track of ascension, right? He has seen moments along where he struggled, and you said, I mean, really, last year they were talking about Jalen Hurts in the sense that it was all fixed. Right? He went and saw his quarterback coach, came back, did well, and he was all but fixed and ready to go. But we've seen anemic games. We've seen him, burping the baby in the pocket, holding onto the ball, being second guessing himself. We've actually seen A.J. Brown, receivers frustrated with him that they're not getting the balls, or they're not getting the type of balls that they need. Pause. But what I'm saying is that this is a quarterback-driven league, right? So even the most pragmatic observers, right, they still are looking with like hopeful eyes, like, because we all want that next guy, right? We all want the next Mahomes. Like, Mahomes is good, but what would be better than one Mahomes? Two, right? We always are looking for the next guy, and really, Brock fits a mold of quarterback that predates him. Right? That's why Brock gets the Drew Brees comparisons. I don't think he's Drew Brees at all, but he gets the Drew Brees comparisons because of how he connects with the fans, how he's being marketed, how he's being pushed. Brock isn't being pushed as some 6'5", 230-pound guy with a howitzer of an arm. Nah, he's being pushed as like the story. Like, why Brock's story works in the media world is that it takes the league down a notch. It almost is like Brock is almost like the Steph Curry of the NFL. He's showing everybody that, man, even you can play. You can get out here. All my 6'0" 150, 250-pound guys, 20, right? Pound guys. You can get out here and you don't have to look like Peyton Manning. You don't got to look like Trevor Lawrence or Justin Herbert or Joe Burrow to get out here and make it and put the league on its ear. Like, you don't have to. And I feel like Brock's story is not only a good story for everybody, but I mean, you kind of notice the people that are defending Brock on this hyperbolic type trajectory. They're the guys that look like Brock. Like, they're like, hey, he's the best. He's Peyton Manning. Like, look at his ball. It's just like, bro, relax, bro. Take it down a notch, right? But saying, can we see what Brock is, to people who feel that way about Brock, is almost like a slight to say, let's wait until he finally fails, right? It's not, they don't hear, when you say, let's wait to see what Brock is, they don't hear, oh, well, it's a competitive league. Brock needs to be able to show progression. We know he has some weaknesses that we want him to get stronger at. We want him to actually go through the whole league where they have a beat on him and see how he performs. We want to see him in bad games. We want to see him when everything is leaning on him. We want to see him without Debo, without Christian, right? That's how you want to assess him. But they don't hear any of that. What they hear is, you're not giving instant validation now, so you're waiting to take it away. You're waiting for a hole to show or a chink in the armor. And that's, it's insecure. It's a little hinky and cagey, but that's just sports. People are going to defend their guy. You know what I mean? So you just kind of got to know who you're talking to.